A slew of big box retailers out with fourth quarter results, giving us a sense of the health or lack of health of the U.S. consumer and U.S. retailers. Joined now by our favorite retail analyst, Howard Davidowitz of Davidowitz & Associates. And Howard, big picture, it seems like you had strength in Saks and Macy's, some of the high-end retailers doing well. Absolutely. The low-end retailers, Walmart's still struggling, Sears, disaster, Kohl's not so good. Is that how you see it? High-end's doing okay, low-end is still really struggling.
High-end is terrific, and as long as the stock market and capital markets continue strong, high-end will continue to be very strong. That's the key there. Online, very, very strong, tremendous growth. But again, for most of retail, if you look at what's going on, Sears, the largest department store in the United States, I mean, terrible.
Yeah, it's awful, and they're closing hundreds of stores.
Just an absolute train wreck. JCPenney, a train wreck, tearing themselves apart, reinventing themselves. I think it's going to be another train wreck there. When you look at the performance of Bon-Ton, they're on life support. So when one looks at the list of the department stores, Dillard's is not doing so terrific. Kohl's is not doing so terrific. When you go down the list, there's a couple of good ones, of course. And I think Nordstrom is going on all cylinders. You know, Macy's is doing fine. So some of them are doing great. Most are doing poorly. I think when you look at the specialty chains across America, Gap closing hundreds of stores. I mean, Abercrombie.
Right, which was a juggernaut for a while there.
Abercrombie closing hundreds of stores. They've already closed hundreds. They're closing hundreds more. And you go down the list and you see Talbot's putting itself up for sale. It's a train wreck. Closing hundreds and hundreds of stores. When you go down the list, you just see a really, really charming closing hundreds of stores. You just go one after another. Pacific Sunwear closing hundreds of stores, a train wreck.
Right. So is it possible, though, we're reaching some sort of bottom for this whole cycle of store closures? And we've been talking to you about this for a couple of years now, that, you know, you've had Circuit City and all these other big names go under, and they've closed their stores, and now this is maybe is it possible this is the end of it? Because some of the other macroeconomic numbers seem to be doing better. The jobless claims number now the lowest level since March 2008, things like that.
I think it's only the beginning of it.
You think it's only the beginning?
Beginning of it. We saw Radio Shack, terrible. Best Buy closing stores, downsizing stores, terrible. And Barnes & Noble, terrible. My God, in the food business, Food Lion closing 100 stores. Take the biggest food retailers in America. They're all not so good. And that would include Kroger, the largest one. Super Value is on life support. They're losing a ton of money. They're the third largest food retailer. Safeway's not so good. They're the second largest. Take Walgreens, the largest, $70 billion. They're not so good because the top 10%, who account for 35% of the spending, are doing dandy. 80% of America is in either a recession or a depression. That's where they are because their incomes are down, because their hours are down, because their pay is down, and because they don't have a job. But that's 80% of the country. Walmart does 11% of U.S. sales.
Right.
And they can't make their margins because we're down trading.
Right.
Target.
So let's talk about Walmart because obviously they're the giant in the room. Their same-store sales were up a percent and a half. Right. Second quarter in a row, they've been up after 9 quarters of decline. Again, could you say, okay, maybe we've seen the worst at Walmart and things are starting to turn the corner. There's light at the end of the tunnel. Maybe it's far away, but
I don't see the lights for Walmart. No, I think they're going to have to restructure this whole business. I think they've lost their low-price image. That was catastrophic. Sam Walton never would have let this happen. They
tried to move up market a little bit, right?
It was a disaster. Right. They remodeled their stores, fancier apparel. They reduced tons of items that people like. And they let Family Dollar, Dollar Tree, and Dollar General and Aldi eat their lunch. That was self-inflicted. How could you lose your price image if you're Walmart? Well, the management of Walmart accomplished that. Brilliant. And they're going to be screwed for a long time. This is going to be a 10-year deal. Repositioning. They're building smaller stores. They've been working on neighborhood markets for a decade. They've been massively unsuccessful at doing it. Family Dollar's, Dollar General's building 600 new stores. That's all the new store growth.
That's the new store, right. Okay.
That's where it's all. TJ Maxx, Ross, they're doing great. They're off price. So the consumer is 80% of America is down trading and watching every nickel. We just passed this thing, the tax holiday and all that. Well, increased gas prices are more than
they're eating it up.
They're eating the whole thing up.
Right.
So what are we talking about?